Having an eGPU setup by far is one of the coolest things that you can do to your handheld. And that's even after Valve announced their Steam machine prices. Honestly, this is probably the way to go in my opinion. But this is not a comparison video, this is actually a tutorial on how to set up your Windows 11 handheld with an eGPU setup. Now, I personally used an RTX 5060 and a AO-Star AG02, and this tutorial is actually going to be based around the Xbox Ally X because this one had a little bit more steps than any of my other Windows 11 handhelds. For some reason, this handheld gave me a lot of trouble and it was actually pretty annoying, so that's why I'm making this tutorial based on this handheld, because maybe one of these hiccups or obstacles that you're running into helps you with your setup. Now, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, my name is Christian Herrera, and if you find these type of videos helpful, push that subscribe button. It keeps me motivated to continue making them, and it just shows me that my time is actually worth it, and these tutorial videos actually help you. Not only that, JSOX actually has sponsored this video with a couple of accessories, and I want to give back to you guys. So if you stay till the end, comment, like, and subscribe, and just say, hey, I'm here to enter, you can win one of these docks that this Xbox Ally X is sitting on, or even this case that the Xbox Ally X is seated in. So anyways, that's towards the end. I just gave you the quick rundown on how to do so if you don't want to stick till the end, but let's get right into the tutorial. So like I said, the hardware that I'm using is a NVIDIA RTX 5060. Now it's important to know, when I first did this setup, I learned that you can't have an AMD card without having to jump through a lot more hoops because the internal graphics card in the handheld was also AMD, and when you uploaded drivers, it always clashed and it didn't know which one to pick. So it required a lot more tinkering, so this is why I specifically choose an NVIDIA card. And honestly, I don't know if that process has even updated, but for me, this is still the easier way to go. And also the other hardware that I'm using is an AO-Star AG02. So shout out to them for sending that over as well. And I've reviewed that in a couple of my past videos. Great eGPU. I think it looks clean. I think it looks great on your desk. And it just looks like you have a really nice setup on your desk. So those are the two things I'm using. Now, I also truly believe that it's important to know the specs on your monitor. And I say that because my monitor is 240 Hertz, so I make sure a 240 Hertz compatible display port is coming out of this eGPU. And also, you want to make sure you have the right USB cord, which in my instance, a 40 gigabits per second USB cord is crucial to make sure you're getting the most out of this eGPU setup. You're already bottlenecked by about 70–85% of the GPU power on this thing, so just keep that in mind. And again, if you want something a little bit more powerful, you can go up to like a 5080, and then I would say that's about 5070 power. If you go up to a 5070, it's gonna be 5060 power. That's kind of like a scale that I like to use, so just know that's about how much power you're getting. That's just a gauge. It's not probably accurate, but that's how I like to look at it. You're not getting the full power of whatever you put in here. So for example, my 5060 on here, it's probably running more closely like to a 4070, honestly. So that's how I like to look at it, but I could be completely wrong. That's just a gauge to kind of put in your head into perspective. Anyways, let's get straight into the tutorial. The first thing that we're gonna do, of course, is power on, and we're gonna get out of Xbox mode. So how you do that is you push the power button, swipe up from the bottom, and click desktop mode. And once you're in desktop mode, let's get straight into a couple things that I wanna make sure you do first. Now, I'm gonna be using a keyboard and mouse with this setup to make it easier. So just follow along. And again, I'm one of those guys where I'm always rewinding on these tutorial videos to see where people clicked with their mouse, because sometimes they tell you what they're doing and they're not even doing it on the screen. I'm like, okay, wait, how'd you even get there? So I'm gonna try my best to make that this type of tutorial. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're in the desktop now, and the first thing that I wanna do is we're gonna go to the bottom left, we're gonna go to that start menu. Once you click in there, go ahead and go into your settings, your Windows settings. So once you're in Windows settings, you're gonna go to the left and go all the way down to where it says Windows Update. Once you click Windows Update, we're gonna check for updates. It should do it automatically, but if not, you're gonna go here to the right and make sure you check for updates. And check to make sure you're updated to the latest version, or make sure that every update is up to date. So in my case, it's checking right now, but I should be good to go. If you still need updates, do this part, then return to the video. The next place that I want you to go is to the search bar, and you're gonna type in AMD. That should pop up a thing called AMD software. We're gonna go ahead and open into that. And into AMD software, really all we're gonna do here is we're gonna go to gaming on the top left here. Once you go to gaming, I want you to go to graphics and go ahead and click custom. And once you click custom, you're gonna go all the way down here and you're going to turn all these off. Mine are already off. This is just gonna make it easier for the drivers and everything that you hook up here soon, not to clash or to try to confuse it on what to pick. Okay, this is one of those things that's not a must, but I like to do to try to make the process a lot easier. So go ahead and do that. And then you can go around in here too and just kind of learn this area. It's pretty cool, it's pretty neat. But anyways, that's it. So the next thing we're gonna do here, back to the search bar, and this time we're gonna type in my Asus. If you don't have this, download it from Windows, download it from the Microsoft Store. If you do, go ahead and open it up. I know you should probably already have it on here, but you would have to make an account. So go ahead and make sure you make an account. And once that's set up, you're gonna go to the left side, you're gonna click on System Update and make sure you don't have any updates. Check for updates again. I'm good here, so we should be good. Now, the next part is gonna require your cell phone because I think it's huge, or even just a screenshot on this device. But you need to go over to Device Manager. And once you go over to Device Manager, on the left side, I want you to go down to this display adapter. Once you click into display adapter, you're gonna see that the AMD Radeon 8090M graphics is right there. That's your internal graphics on the handheld. Once you hook up your NVIDIA card to it, it should pop up right underneath. If it doesn't, this is a couple things that we're gonna do to make sure it runs and it pops up there for you, okay? So take a screenshot of that, make sure you come back to reference it. You wanna come back here and make sure your graphics card is being read, so make sure you take that screenshot. Okay, the next place we're gonna go right after that, back to the search bar. This time we're gonna do Task Manager. On Task Manager, once you're in Task Manager, you're gonna go over to the left side and push Performance. Once you're in Performance, you're gonna go down to GPU. Again, you see the internal graphics card, but once you have everything up and running, you should see another one say called GPU1, and that should be your other graphics card, your NVIDIA card in this case. So again, screenshot, reference this, because you'll see the difference once we have it all set up. Now, once you've got that all set up, here's where we're gonna put our eGPU setup together. Again, mine's pretty easy. I'm using the AAO Star AGO2, like I said earlier, and the 5060. There's only two components to it. AAO Star gives you everything you need, and it's an 800 watt power supply, and then the 5060, again, just a regular graphics card. All you do is you grab this and you seat it into the eGPU dock. And then on the eGPU dock, you put in this PCI cord into the graphics card and into the AAO Star AGO2. Grab the cord that came with it, and you're gonna hook it up to the front of this into your Xbox Ally X. And then from there, you're gonna make sure the power is hooked up to the wall, and you're pretty much golden. Now, here's something that I need you to know and happened to me. For some odd reason, AAO Star sent me the AGO3. And it would not work whatsoever with the Xbox Ally X. I don't know what was going on, why it wasn't reading. It would not pop up, and that was part of my headache. I spent probably 4 to 5 hours figuring out what the heck was going on. I even changed my cable. I went to another USB-C cable, a couple of them actually, an 80 bit per second one, another 40 bit per second one, Anchor ones, Ugreen ones, all sorts of things, and it just wasn't working. For some reason, after 4 hours, I decided to change over to an AGO2 to make sure this wasn't bad or something, and sure enough, an AGO2 ran. Now, I was worried that it wasn't gonna run with my Lenovo Legion Go 2, so I checked it on the AGO3 again to make sure that was good, and it was. So for some odd reason, the Xbox Ally X did not like the AGO3, so I recommend if you do buy it, make sure it's the AGO2, and it should run perfectly exactly how you need. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do next. On the top of your Xbox Ally X, you have 2 ports, USB ports. So facing the screen, you're gonna use the one to the left. It should have a symbol on it, and that's the one that actually reads your USB-C. The other one is just more for peripherals, and when you try to put your eGPU setup on the one on the right, it won't read correctly. You always wanna make sure you're plugged into the one on the left. So let's go ahead and plug in our eGPU setup. You should hear a sound, and you should see it say turbo and plugged in. And your eGPU fans should actually start spinning. Once they start spinning, you know that your device is reading it, but sometimes it doesn't show. So that's when we're gonna go back and we're gonna go reference our device manager. So we're gonna go ahead and open up device manager again. And when you go into display settings, you should have, again, here you see NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5060. Now mine looks fine because I've already done this process, but you're gonna have a little triangle right there. If you don't see NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5060, there are some other things that we're probably gonna have to do to see if you can read it. If you haven't already tried that eGPU thing, where you make sure you got the right enclosure or you got the right dock, one that's compatible, or maybe the right gigabits per second, then you're gonna go into your settings and you're gonna go into control panel. And when you click into control panel, you're gonna go ahead and click in system and security, then you're gonna go into power options. Once you click into power options, choose what the power buttons do. I want you to click into that, and I want you to turn off fast startup, okay? This helps read the eGPU if you're having any issues with that. And once you do that, it should help read your setup once you boot up. So once you do that, you're gonna go ahead and reset your whole device. You're gonna see if that fixes your problem, see your eGPU setup. Okay, now that you've restarted your device, you're gonna go back into Device Manager. I told you we're gonna be referencing that place quite a bit, and you're gonna make sure that your NVIDIA card is actually now showing up there, okay? Once it's showing up there, the next thing we're gonna wanna do is go to NVIDIA's website and download the drivers, and make sure that you have all this downloaded, because we're gonna have to come back and make sure our drivers are up to date. So the next thing we're gonna do is, in my description, I'm gonna have a eGPU script that you must run, and this is gonna help the device read and utilize your RTX 5060 or your NVIDIA card. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to my description below, you're gonna see the link, and it's gonna look like this. Here, again, you're gonna have to make an account again, just like you did for my Asus, so you can even get the download to run the script. So once you sign in, you should get an option to download this, and then when you go into your download folder, as you can see here, actually called NVIDIA Error 43 Fixer. So once you have that, you're gonna open this one on the very bottom called the NVIDIA Error. You're gonna open, it's gonna prompt you, run, and then push yes, and it's gonna execute the error code. Well, in my case, it doesn't show that I have error code because I already ran it, but once you run this, it should actually fix your whole setup. So the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go back into Device Manager, check that out. If Device Manager is working and you see it in there, then the final check would be Task Manager. So then you're gonna go into Task Manager, and in Task Manager, performance, again, now you should see your GPU, your NVIDIA card going. Now, here's where you're gonna wanna do some tests. You're gonna go ahead and open up a game in Steam and see what device it decides to use. Now, if you're having any trouble with that, the next thing you can go is back into your settings. The top search bar, go into graphic settings. You should see it on the top right. Once you go here, you can then go find the app that you downloaded or whatever game, click it, you see the drop-down menu, let Windows decide high performance. Typically, these handhelds do a really good job. Once you plug in the eGPU, change up your settings in that game. Anytime you're connected to the eGPU, it knows now you're using the eGPU and it reverts the settings to that. Once you undock and go to your handheld, it knows to use the settings for that. So keep that in mind. But if you're having any trouble, you can choose here, high performance NVIDIA 5060 or power saving AMD Radeon, which I like to keep it at let Windows decide, but if you're having any trouble, Forza Horizon 6, I had to do this once. I did it once. For some odd reason, it was working after that. So keep that in mind. But other than that, that should be the only hiccups and setups that you come into. Again, for me, the biggest one where I spent a lot of time was actually the eGPU dock. Again, it wasn't working for my setup, but in this case, it actually worked perfectly fine once I switched to the AGO2. So if you have any questions, again, I'm super responsive on YouTube. Shoot me a question, shoot me any questions that you have. I'm more than happy to help you. Again, the community is very helpful in here as well, so make sure you put your comment down below. And as far as the giveaway, don't forget, all you have to do is comment, like, and subscribe. Once you tell me you subscribed and you say in the comments you've entered, then I'll select 5 people here in the next week or 2 and ask you which device you want. You want either a case for your handheld. If you don't have an Xbox Ally X, just tell me what else you have, or if you want this dock. Anyways, appreciate you stopping by and catch you in the next video. See ya.